Hi class, this is Dr. Karsten, and today I'm going to be going over Grade 4, Unit 3, Lesson 12, Session 2, Independent Work. So, I know that our focus today, the way that we were doing this, was we were really focusing on using partial products to multiply two-digit numbers. However, for your work here, question number 2 is asking us to use the area model, and question number 3 is asking us to use partial products, and we're multiplying the same two-digit numbers when we're doing this. So I am actually going to go ahead and use the area model for this one, and I am going to use partial products for this one, just so that you guys can see again the relationship between the two of them. Now again, I just want to remind everyone that multiplying 71 times 48 is exactly the same thing as multiplying 48 times 71. And that is because of the commutative property of multiplication, where it says that we are allowed to switch the order of the two numbers that we are multiplying, and it'll still come out with the same product, the same answer. So that holds true for multiplication and for addition. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to work this through on a separate piece of paper so I have some room to work. So again, 71 times 48 is the same exact thing as 48 times 71. And I'm going to start with the area model. So again, we're doing 71 times 48. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a nice area model. Give myself some room to work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 71 up here. And then I'm going to make this side 48. Now remember, the first thing that we want to do is we want to break this down into our tens and our ones. So I have 7 tens and I have 1 1. So this would be my 7 tens, which is 70, and this is my 1 1. I'm going to do the same thing down here. So again, I have my 4 tens and my 8 ones, and 4 tens is 40, and 8 ones is 8. And then remember that super cool thing that I have you do, which is that we're going to fill out the other two sides to help us out. So if I have 40 here, that means that this is also 40. And if I have 8 here, that means that this is also 8. Remember, we can put the little plus to show that it's 40 and 8, or 70 and 1. If this is 70, then this is 70. And if this is 1, then this is 1. All right, so the next step is to break this down. So we have our big rectangle, and now we want to break it down into these smaller ones. And then we'll put them all back together in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So we'll start with this one, which is 40 by 70. So again, it's 40 by 70, so I can just write 40 times 70, and I'm going to use my zero trick. 4 times 7 is 28, and then I have to add on my 2 zeros. So that's the first box. So again, 40 by 70. Now let's go ahead and let's do another one. So for this one, it's going to be 1 times 40. So 1 times 40. And remember, we have another video that really explains the area model in depth. I'm not going to go into that. Well, anything times 1 is going to be itself. It's the identity element for multiplication. So 1 times 40 is just 40, but you could use your zero trick and say 1 times 4 is 4, and then tack on that 0. All right. And you know, as I'm going, I should probably be pulling these numbers out. So here we have 2,800. I'm going to write them down underneath for when we have to add them. And then we have 40. So I'm going to go ahead and keep track of those. All right, so next, let's go ahead and work right here with this rectangle, this box. So this one is 8 times 70. So again, I'm going to use my zero trick. 8 times 7 is 56, and I'm going to add on that 0. And then I'm going to go ahead and add it to my list down here. So we have 560. Notice how I'm lining up my ones, my tens, my hundreds really carefully. And then the last one over here is going to be this box. And this one's going to be 1 times 8. And 1 times 8 is just 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that one down here, that product. And now I'm going to add them all up. So I'm adding up all 4 boxes to find out the giant box. So I'm putting them all back together. So this one was 2,800, 40, 516, 8. I'm going to add them up. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 4 plus 6 is 10, but I have to regroup. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 5 is 14, and 1 plus 2 is 3. And there's our first answer. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to do this using the other method, which is the partial products method. So I'm just going to move this over for now. Oh, I'm running out of room. So again, we are going to do the exact same problem, 71 times 48, but we're going to use partial products this time. So 71 times 48. And yes, the area model does use partial products, but this is more of a straightforward partial products. Now, in the other video, I was able to use the whiteboard, and I could kind of separate things out, and it was really helpful. I'm not going to be able to do that right now, but that's okay. We're still going to be fine. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to pretend like that 4 is not there, and I'm going to do 8 times 1, and then 8 times the tens. How many tens? 7 tens, so 70. So it's going to be 8 times 1, and 8 times 70. So 8 times 1 first. And I could circle it, but I don't want to make it messy. So it's going to be 8 times 1, which is just 8. And do you see how that's the same as right here? Do you see that? So let's do the next step. So again, we're pretending like the 4 is not there right now. So we did 8 times the 1s. How many 1s? 1, 1. Now we're going to do 8 times the 7. But remember, this is 7 tens or 70. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 8 times 7 tens or 70. 71, 70, and 1. And when I do that, I'm going to use that 0 trick. 8 times 7 is I'm going to do it over here, is 56, and then I add on that 0. So 8 times 7 is 56, and add on that 0 that I was holding on to. So I'm going to very carefully line that up here so I don't make a silly mistake when I add. And what you can see is, look, these are the same. So I want you guys to always pay attention to that I could draw an arrow and show it that it's right there. So next now, we dealt with this 8. So now we're going to deal with the 4 tens over here, this 4. So first we're going to multiply the 4 tens, so 40 times the 1. And then we're going to do the 40 times the 7 tens, or 70. So again, first we're going to do the 40 times the 1. So again, we're doing 40 times the 1. And that's just going to be 40. So I'm going to write that in nice and carefully. Ooh, now this one's running out of ink. I think I might need to invest in some more markers. And next we are going to go ahead and we're going to do that last step, which is the 4 tens times the 7 tens, or 40 times 70. And that one's going to be right here. So again, 0 trick, 4 times 7 is 28, and we add on our 2 zeros. All right, oh, and then let me write it over here. So 0, and you notice how I'm writing it really carefully? I'm going backwards so everything lines up. And now I can go ahead and I can do the addition part. So what you should be noticing is that we really kind of have the same exact thing going on. So remember, I pulled all these out and I put them down here. Well, what you should be noticing is, look, we have 2,800, 2,800, 40, 40, 560, 560, 8, 8. Do you see how they just line up? So you see, you could say this is this, this is this, this is this, and this is this. So I hope that you're seeing how they're lining up and how they're related. Now I just have to go ahead and add. So let me finish this out. So 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Regroup. 1 plus 5 plus 8 is 14. Regroup. And 1 plus 2 is 3. And we got the same exact answer both times. All right, so let's keep going because I want you guys to have time to finish up whatever else you have to do today. So here we go. Last problem, problem number 5. So problem number 5 says Mr. Green prepares 28 bags of glass tiles for his art class. So he has 25 bags. So just imagine there's a bag, and in the bag there's 28 pieces, there's pieces of tile, right? So he has 28 bags, and each bag has some glass tiles in it. He puts 40 glass tiles in each bag. So 40 glass tiles go in each bag. When we see each, we know we might be multiplying or dividing. It's very likely. So imagine this. 28 bags. Each bag has 40 glass tiles. So if I want to know how many glass tiles does Mr. Green use, if I want to know the total number of tiles he's using, I'm going to have to multiply these two numbers. So again, imagine you have 28 bags, and so you'd have 40 plus 40 plus 40, because each bag has 40 tiles in it. You'd have 40 plus 40 plus 40, 28 times. So 40 28 times, or 28 times 40. So let's go ahead and set this up. Now, again, I don't have a whole lot of room here, so since I'd like to have a little bit more room, I'm going to grab myself another piece of paper. This one's good. And I'm going to set it up here. It doesn't matter which number you write first. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to write 40 times 28 for this one. And actually, let me start out with the gray. So we're going to do 40 times 28. So 40 times 28. So remember, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to do 8 times the 0. And we just get 0. So again, we're going to pretend like the 2's not there, and we're doing 8 times the 1's and 8 times the 10's. So 8 times the 1's, how many 1's? 0 1's, so it's 8 times 0. Now we're going to do 8 times the 10's. How many 10's? 4 10's, or 40. So let me go, sorry about that. So we're doing 8 times 40. So the 4 10's right there. So 0 trick it, 8 times 4 is 32, and tack on that 0, and we have 320. All right, so the next one. So we're done with the 8. We did 8 times 0 and 8 times 40. Now we're going to do 2 times 0, but remember this 2 is 20. So we're doing 20 times 0 and then 20 times 40. So let's first do 20 times 0, which is easy. Anything times 0 is 0. And then let's go ahead and let's do 20 times 40. So remember, you have to say the value of the numbers. So it's not 2 times 4 right now, it's 20 times 40 is really what we're doing. 2 times 4 is 8, and I'm going to add on my 2 zeros. So I get 800. Now all I have to do is add them all up. See how quick this is starting to get? Wait till you see the algorithm. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0, 2 plus 0 is 2, and 8 and 3 are 11. And there you have it, 1,120. So we are not doing the estimating today because, again, I really want us to focus on these techniques that we're using. So remember, for partial products, you're going to first multiply the 1 here, the 8, and you're going to multiply it times the 1's and the 10's, so 8 times 0 and 8 times 40. And then you do the same thing with the 2, and you do 2 times 0 and 2 times 40. All right, my friends, well, that is it. So let's have a great day.